there. Boom, we are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Drone Talk. I hope you guys all do that with me, really high pitched every time I do it. But I want to say thanks everyone so much for popping in on the show. What's weird though is that this is not currently live right now. No one. Oh, there it is. It popped up. It's weird. Oh, they just came in late. Whatever. Hey guys, there was a computer malfunction on my side. So everyone, thanks so much for those who are watching. I want to check out the chat real quick. We got Allie in the house. We got Coffee. How are you two? Samurai Raccoon. We got my boy Justin, as well as Battle Dime and Lorenzo Sleestack of Gulf City. What up? Today, guys, I'm actually going to be drawing while I talk with Martha. Martha, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And today, guys, we don't necessarily have a topic in mind, but we're going to talk topics. We're going to have a really good conversation. We also have Nathaniel Gold. He's going to be coming on the show, popping on the show probably in like 20 or 30 minutes. He's currently teaching a college class, and he'll come and pop on the show. And we're going to talk about his Kickstarter. But real quick, guys, these are the two books that we're going to focus on currently right now is application window. Oh, crap. Okay. First off, is we want to show off Demons Volume 2, link down in the description. We're at almost $2,600, basically $400 away from getting $3,000, which unlocks the stretch goals. Guys, $3,000 will get everyone who backs the physical book gets trading cards. I super want to make these. Links in the description. If you haven't backed yet, you can get 250 pages worth of comic books for a grand total of $18. This is a steal. So go for it. And then the second book, guys, that we're going to be promoting right now is Seed Seeker's graphic novel, first edition, which where's my account? It says, look, you check that out, guys. I'm a backer. So I'm going to be getting my graphic novel. I mean, it's all what I love about your book, by the way, Martha, is that it's all traditional.
Thank you.
Like even this cover right here, that's traditional, right?
Yeah.
That's with markers. Like I'm going to be while we're talking, guys, I'm actually going to be drawing and coloring, and it's all freaking digital. So I'm kind of a cop out. So go, guys. The links are in the descriptions down below. I'm going to put them in the chat real quick. Is the lettering? How do you do the lettering, Martha? Is it traditional or digital?
That's I use the text fonts.
Okay. So you use computer on that one.
Yeah. When I do the finals, I do everything traditionally. I draw, ink, and da-da-da. I do the whole thing. I do the story. I do the comic. I lay it out. But when I get done with it, I put it in Photoshop and add the tones to it because I have a program where I have classic tones. I don't go off the internet and rip off tones there. I have this disc where old school.
That's cool.
So that, and then I take an Illustrator and I put in the fonts from there.
That's awesome. Well, hey, let's. So this is what we're gonna do, guys. This is a blade commission that I did for someone, and it's scanned in. But what happened was I was supposed to send this out for the first Demons Kickstarter, and then while I was packaging it, I stabbed a knife through it. And so I was like, crap, I can't send this to that person. That'd be really jacked up. So I kept it. I scanned it. I'm going to turn it into a print. If you want to buy the original art of this, let me know. I'll give you a price, but I'm going to color it while we talk. So I'm actually going to be doing art while we talk. James Ross wants to know, are the interior pages of Seed Seekers color or black and white?
Well, good question. Basically it's black and white because it's representing the Japanese manga. I don't know how to pronounce that, but there is sections and scenes in the comic that are in color because basically what my ideas was having it to where the three girls, the story, without giving you too much information, three girls, their world is dying. And of course, as it's dying, it's all black and white. It's going black and white. The color's draining out of the world just as much as everything else. So they have to go and find their long lost sovereign or the savior that helped save their world. So they have to go into technically the colored world, which is our traditional comics here in America, where everything's in color. So they're coming to the Japanese world, to the American world, which I don't want to sound stereotypical, but you know what I'm talking about. So they come and find him, and they bring him back into the world, and they learn a lot of things along the way. So
that's really creative, though, to do that black and white, but then you also have that use of color where it shows off a different like world that they're in. That's really clever.
Yeah. So some of those volume 1 is a little section that has a little color in it because they kind of have to get him in the world, and then volume 2, which just got done, it's color in black and white because they're going back into the future. It's like they learn from their history and stuff like that. So it has a color. I'm currently working on volume 3, totally black and white because he's in their world now, but it's trying to shape up because eventually this is going to end. I'm going to have the series end in the long run, but the world's going to be color at the very end of it. So
how many pages is your current Kickstarter? I know I asked you, but I'm sure the viewers would like to know how many pages is volume 1.
Roughly right now, I'm basically, and that's why this one is very small. I don't ask for a whole bunch because this one has done. This is volume 1. I'm trying to take volume 1 and make it into because a lot of people didn't get it yet, and instead of collecting every issue, I wanted to put it all into one. So it's basically going to be volume 1 plus a little bit extra stories. So if you do have volume 1, the comics, you'll get a little extra stories.
Okay. How many pages? Do you know how many pages it will be roughly?
I'm thinking roughly about 75 to 100 pages.
Okay. Well, hey guys, that's a good price. Then that's a lot of that's a lot.
Yeah.
We have, let's see. Coffee Hiroko says, "Are you inspired by Drawn to Life?"
Yeah. I try to incorporate a lot of life drawings into my work. Not too much into my comics per se. Trying to lean a little bit toward when they go into the comic book world, but some of my classic comic book style. I grew up in a lot of Archie comics and Japanese anime, manga kind of comics, so a lot of it leans toward that stuff. So, but as I draw and develop a little bit, I get a little bit better. I recently am doing the third one, and I feel like I'm really getting better, especially in action poses, and they're becoming more lifelike. So you'll be surprised as it develops.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Samurai Raccoon says that they shared your Kickstarter. Thank you so much for doing that. And they asked, do you plan on adding any pages once you reach a certain goal?
Yeah, I'm definitely, well, like I said, it's roughly going to be 75 pages. So with what I have, I don't think I had that many in the first volume. So yeah, it'll be roughly about that. It's not going to be really much more than that.
So when you create your comic, Martha, you know, you obviously you come up with this idea, and then you go for it. Do you when you write your comic though, do you write it in comic book like scripts?
Well, when I first write it, first I come up with ideas, like thinking creatively, imagining, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then I write down the story in like books and stuff, keeping mental notes. And then I rewrite it, think of how I want it to go. Like I'll have the synopsis, but then I rewrite it and then I add more. Like this recent one that I just did, I wrote it down and then I liked it on paper, and then I said, no, I think I'm going to tweak it a little bit. So I had like a 3 comic idea of the story going together, and then I'm like, no, I think I want to add these 2 onto it, like another story idea that I had, the same idea, but then I put it in there. So it's like an artwork. You think you have it perfect, but you're like, no, I think I'm going to fix it a little bit. So that's what I kind of like about writing and drawing, is because, and I know you as a writer, when you're writing a story, you think creatively, but it's like, no, I think I want to add a little bit extra stuff to make it look more colorful and stuff like that. So that's how I do it.
Oops. I totally agree with you, because as a writer, you always come up with the best idea. How do you know though? I guess how do you know when you need to stop? How do you know when you've found that right idea that you just need to be like, okay, this is the right idea. I need to stop coming up with new ideas because you're always going to find new ideas. Right. I mean, Demons is a 14 issue series. And I had so many, I still to this day have so many ways that I could do it. And I'm having to tell myself like, Tyler, like it's done. Like, yeah. Like, how do you stop yourself from doing that?
Well, I don't know about you, but like a lot of times I'm like, well, I think I just want to get my point across and I don't want to embellish it too much. That's like even when I write stuff. Sometimes I notice because I'm not the perfect writer. So when I write stuff, I'm like, I feel like I'm doubling my letters or I'm doubling what I said. I'm like, I already said that. So when I said that, cut that out. That's even like when I write these stories, sometimes I'm like repeating myself and I'm like, why did I just repeat myself? So I cut it out, the story and stuff like that. So that's when I pretty much tell myself, okay, that made the point clear. So I think I just stuck it with that.
So just realizing, okay, I have a good idea. Yeah. Let's stop it. Let's stop it here.
Yeah, pretty much.
How long does it take you, Martha, to do a typical traditional page of artwork? Oh. Well, I love knowing this from other artists because I always get different answers from them.
Well, see, like me, I like to draw, but then I like to ink. Like today, I don't know if you can see it or not, but like I did like some of my story, and
nice.
I draw. I drew 3 pages today, just technically just drawing.
So I see that it's like not super like tight pencils, but you have a really good outline. And then do you do most of the work in ink?
Well, that's what I'll show you.
There you go. Yeah. Hold on, let me lock screen this. That looks so good.
So like, yeah, that's why I was going to have somebody else do my inking, and they're like, well, you should put more into it. I'm like, well, that's not what I do because I like ink my own work,
Yeah, well, when someone else inks your own work, yeah, you have to trust that they know what you're going for. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's hard. We have in the house, guys, Nathaniel Gold. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up? Sorry,
no, dude, you're good. You're actually here early.
Yeah, I know. I know. Late and early at the same time.
Yeah, because I thought that you were gonna come at 8, but that's all good. It's been a while since we've talked.
Yeah, how you been?
Dude, I've been good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm tired. It's,
sure.
20 to 10 over here, but yeah, I'm keeping busy.
Well, I know that it's super late for both of you. I know you guys are both on Eastern time, and I'm in Utah. So I'm sorry. You guys, remember, you guys can dip at any point. Just let me know. Everyone, real quick, I'm going to show off now Nathaniel Gold's Kickstarter. Nathaniel, want to tell us a little bit about this quick starter that you're doing?
Yeah, sure. Great. Thank you. Awesome. But before I do that, I want to just kind of introduce myself.
Go for it.
Here, I'm sorry. I don't think we've ever met before. I'm Nathaniel Gold. I create comics about chimpanzees.
Hey, how are you? I'm Martha, and I create fantasy stories with elves and classic Japanese.
Am I the only one here who writes comics with humans?
No,
there are humans in yours.
There are humans in mine. Just the chimp is the main character. And by the way, I don't want to put you on the spot here, Tyler, but did you get a chance to read the book? I know you got it, right?
Oh, I did get it, and I did read it, and it was very entertaining.
And it takes place in Utah, you know that, right?
I did. I've been wanting to like talk to you just about the way you did the art. It was very what I liked about it was unique. And it reminded, I don't know if this is going to sound like an insult. If it does, I'm really sorry. It's not supposed to come off as an insult, but it gave me like a Jib Jab feel. You remember Jib Jab?
Oh, yes. That's not an insult at all. Those guys are very wealthy.
Okay, so it gave me a jib jab feel where I'm like, this comic is good. It's a good story, but it also doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm going for. I'm going for something that on the outside feels serious, but the more you're with it, the more you realize that, you know, it doesn't take itself too seriously. Like, one of my main influences on this story is actually like the original Batman TV show. You know, in the way that they didn't take themselves too seriously. I mean, they were Batman, but if you've seen the show, you know, with Adam West, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm going for there. But anyway, let me tell you about the quick starter that I'm doing right now. Right. So what we were talking about is my graphic novel. I brought it here for visuals. The Chimp with the Brown Hat, Volume 1 or Part 1, which I kickstarted back in October. And one of the things that I made was this thing here. Let me see if we can get real close. It's upside down. It's an enamel pin, and this was a an additional reward. But I had originally envisioned this pin as a series of 3, because I even put on the back of it here, you know, 1 of 3. So with this quick starter, what I'm doing is I'm taking these characters. You can see them on the screen there, right? You have the Chimp with the Brown Hat. Then you have this guy, Henry. It's a Henry Chipman and Marcel Chipman, and all together they make the Chipman family. These are all characters that I've written prose about. You're familiar with the Chimp with the Brown Hat in the graphic novel, and soon all of these characters are going to really come to life in a web comic and of course a series of books. So the purpose of this quick starter was just to kind of be able to finish off this collection here and have 3 enamel pins, and I'm just trying to do it in time for comic convention season. So I'll be doing a couple cons through the summer into the early fall, and so that's the purpose behind this Kickstarter, was to try to pre-sell enough pins to be able to have the factory make up the additional pins. So again, the Chimp with the Brown Hat, this guy's already made. So this Kickstarter is just making the other 2, and then through the Kickstarter, you have the option to buy 1, 2, 3, or 6. So you can buy 2 of each. But it is funded, as you saw. We're actually like 110% funded, which is awesome. It was a quick starter, right? One of the rules on the quick starter is you can't ask for more than $1,000. You can't have stretch goals.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like this quick starter thing's kind of like this silly unofficial.
Like, I need $500 now. Kind of thing.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Is it like I need $500 now kind of thing? Yeah,
the idea of the quick starter, from my understanding, because the first comic I ever did, the first Kickstarter I ever did, was a quick starter too, and it worked for the purpose that it's designed for, which is not to have a huge Kickstarter, not to do your grandiose thing, but to use this idea as a quick starter to do a small project that might be sort of the beginnings of another project, or in my case right now, sort of like in addition to a larger project that I've already done. And the idea is, and the reason they call it a quick starter is, the idea is you're not supposed to really like overthink it. They want you to like make a quick video in like 1 day. They want you to have the Kickstarter is not supposed to go more than 20 days. You can't ask for more than $1,000. Just like on the website, on the Kickstarter website, there's like a list of rules, and you're supposed to put quick starter in the title. But at the end of the day, it's just a small Kickstarter. But what was so cool about this quick starter thing is the first one I did was for issue 1 of my comic. And when it first came out, this quick starter thing, I was like, oh my God, like, this makes so much sense. I'm sitting here hemming and hawing for, I want to say, close to 10 years about what am I going to do with my Kickstarter. It's got to be this grandiose, so biggest thing ever. It's going to have to change my life. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, you could do this Kickstarter. And I was just like, okay, just throw it out there, you know, and it's okay if you fail. And I don't know, it was like this like weird sort of like psychological thing that made me realize like, you could just do it, you know? So that was the purpose of the Kickstarter. And then with that momentum, I did the full Kickstarter. And now I'm sort of doing this as like a little addendum, just to try to finish off the pins. And of course, I'm hard at work on part 2. Which I want to kickstart probably, early summer.
Early summer.
Yeah.
So with this a quick starter, then it doesn't sound like it'd be a good. It's not for everyone. Like I don't feel like someone like. Well, I mean, like Martha, do you think you could come up with a quick starter? Do you think a comic book could do good for a quick starter? Well, you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, honest to God, I was thinking about like what I just did this one. I was gonna put it like a quick starter, but like make it shorter, you know, like the 15 days or whatever. But I ended up 30 because I just brushed through it as fast as I did. But yeah, something like I did, yes, because it's like it's already done. It's just putting a little bit, you know, if you don't have it, put a collection together, like a digest for people who haven't had it. That I would make it a quick starter kind of thing for comics. But for something like elaborate or long or something new, I would make it long. I'd do the 30-day one.
Is there a sense of fear that one has because it's a quick starter? Like the nice thing about Martha, your campaign was 30 days. And then
I don't know if it'd be fair though, because I had mine up. I got funded in like 3 days. So
yeah, but I guess long term though, because like I have demons on Indiegogo right now I put it on for 45, I think it was 40 days. And you do that because I don't know, the sense of fear that you're not going to be able to raise that money in 15 days. You know, luckily, you know, Martha, you raised yours in 3 days. I raised my goal in a week. So do you think a lot of creators, Nathaniel, are scared to do quick starters because of that impending doom? Like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to do this in 15 days. But you said it's there not to get, you're not supposed to get grandeur.
Yeah. I don't think that it's all right. So the quick starter, as it relates to what we're all doing here, making comics, it's not really a good idea, I don't think, to try to do a quick starter for your graphic novel. For me, I did it for issue 1 of my comic because I knew that this was really a 12-part story that I was breaking out into 3 graphic novels. So I took the first, you know, and I broke it out into chapters, and each chapter is a 24-page issue, right? So this, for me, it was more of testing the waters,
to see if there'd be interest.
Yeah, I agree.
So do you think that could be something that you could do? Is you could, you know, let's say you have it. Let's say I have my graphic novel. I want to test the water, so I do a quick start. Say for issue 1, I need to raise $200 just to see.
Yeah.
Enough interest.
Yeah, I mean, I used it for a couple of reasons. So this is going back now to last August when I did my first Kickstarter campaign, which was a quick starter, which was for issue 1 of The Chip with the Brown Hat, and I used it for a couple of reasons. 1, I wanted to test the waters of Kickstarter. 2, I wanted to finally just put something on Kickstarter to sort of like break the nerves, get rid of the nerves and just get it done. And 3, I wanted to try to begin to build some buzz and some contacts for when I was going to then drop my full graphic novel, right? So can't remember the numbers right now, but let's say 50 people bought issue 1. That was 50 people that I can contact and say, hey, you bought issue 1. Now issues 1 through 4, the graphic novel is up on Kickstarter. You know what I mean?
And then you can charge them at a higher price point, because then you might think, oh, my mind's being blown, everyone. That's actually, I looked at this, guys. This will be the third stream in a row where I've said this, where I say the reason why I have guests on the show is because I never want to be the smartest person in the room, because if you're the smartest in the room, you're the person in the room, you're the dumbest person in the room. Yep. You're constantly trying to learn. That's why I bring Martha in. That's why I bring Nathaniel in. Okay, that makes so much sense. $200 goal, so easy.
And really the way I'm seeing Kickstarter right now in general is sort of like a ladder. Like, I want to continue to launch, whether it's major projects or small projects, so that I can start building a fan base through Kickstarter, which I can then later on expand on and bring into maybe a Patreon, which I don't do yet. I know you do Patreon. I don't do it yet.
Oh, I don't do it.
Oh, I thought you did.
Do you do it, Martha?
Yeah, I have one.
How's it going for you?
It's okay. I mean, I have 7 followers now, and I've been on there for like a year.
Hey, that's good. I have 0, Nathaniel. I'm starting one. I have it made. I think once I'm done with the Demons campaign, I'm going to really start pressing on it, and then it will really get into motion next year, where my next graphic novel, it's already made. And what I'm going to say is every 2 months, so you can back me at the $1, $3, $5, I don't care. And every 2 months, you're going to get a digital 20-page comic. And you're going to get it up until the series is completed. You're going to get 20 pages every 2 months. And then in December, the month that you would get your digital comic. If you backed at the $1, you're just gonna get the digital graphic novel. But if you backed at the $3, I'll send you the graphic novel. And if you backed at the $5, I'll send you the graphic novel and 2 prints. If you backed at the $10, it expands from there. And so and then hopefully people follow that and they like that system. And maybe the following year I go, okay, I'm going to do it again. Every 2 months, you're going to get a 20-page comic. And then in December, I will send everyone their physical copy.
Yeah.
It's a little scarier though than Indiegogo.
Yeah. Patreon's it's a up and down game kind of thing, but I mean, you get an audience. I was going to ask both of you, what's more important to you? Is it the funding or is it the backers? What do you prefer? Because I'd like to have more backers. That's me.
I feel the same right now. Right now, I'm just trying to build an audience. So, I mean, I'd rather have, 100 people who bought, my comic at $20 than one person who just gave me $2,000.
Exactly. Agreed. Like you would. Yeah.
Exactly. The money is nice, but what's the point of having the $2,000 to print all these comics if you only got one person reading it?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because I'm like, if I get $1, I'm happy. Because that's like one person. That's a backer.
Yeah.
Like one backer.
Exactly, and that's somebody who's supporting your project, even if they only back for $1. And at $1, maybe they get nothing. They still supported you, but more important than that, you've captured them because you have them in your dashboard in Kickstarter. You have their email. You can send them an email through your whatever email system you use. And they have the option to unsubscribe. You got to be very honest with them and say, look, I got this email through Kickstarter because you backed my project. You can unsubscribe at any time. Just press this button. But the point is, you then have them. So next time you launch, you can let them know. And then that person who only bought for $1, maybe now they're in a position where they want to buy everything from you, or they want to, or maybe they just want to give you another $1. Still, that's the great thing about Kickstarter, right? It has the and maybe it's the same with Indiegogo. I don't know. I've never used that, but it has this built-in mechanism where it has scarcity, right? It has a clock that ticks down. It's a beautiful landing page. It has name recognition. People trust it because it's on Kickstarter, and then it captures everybody who backed you. So, you know, and then you can then touch them again later on, whether it be another Kickstarter or go to Indiegogo or check out my Patreon or check out my new store, whatever it may be. So, and that's what I did here with the pins. Look, granted, the pins was a very low. I was only looking for $300. But you know what? I got 17 backers, 15 of them who bought pins, and I think all but 2 were from my previous Kickstarter, right? So these are, you know, quote unquote fans who liked my book, who like my stuff, who are interested in what's my next project. So that's why I see it as like a constant ladder that, you know, hopefully it'll build bigger. Hopefully when I launch issue or rather part 2, I'm hoping that my Kickstarter will be twice as big as it was for part 1. Hoping that I bring a lot of people who bought part 1 who want to buy part 2, but then also bring in new people who have never heard of me before who could buy part 1 and part 2, you know. And so that's how I'm using it, and that was really the reason why, you know, I don't know if you guys have ever made enamel pins. They're really not super expensive. Hence I was only looking for $300 for the Kickstarter. They're very attainable, and the margins on them are pretty huge. You know, if you buy them, you can get them for about $2 a piece, and you can sell them for $10 a piece, you know, at a show or whatever. So enamel pins, that's kind of just, hey guys, you should look into enamel pins if you haven't already. But the thing is that I could have just paid for these myself, brought them to shows and sold them there, but I wanted to stay in people's eyes. I want to stay.
If you want to stay if you want people to keep knowing who you are, you need to constantly putting out something new.
Exactly.
And for me, and like this is just eye opening to me, Nathaniel. I'm just really glad that you popped in. Is that for me? I've always thought, okay, I make comics, so if in order for me to stay in the light, I've got to keep making comics. When, you know, maybe I put out some other merch. I go, hey, this is this merch. It's still keeping me in the limelight. You know, Martha, maybe what you could do is, you know, you go, hey, I'm not making a comic, gives you a little break, gives you time to breathe with all the artwork you're doing, and you go, I'm trying to quick start this. I'm trying to quick start, you know, an enamel pin. For
now it pops.
Yeah, Martha's making Funko Pops. Martha, show us those Funko Pops. Do you have one on you?
Yeah, I have.
Wait, let me focus it on you. Guys, look at this. Martha freaking made that. That's her character right there.
Oh, wow. Wait. That's fantastic. How did you
Jules too.
How did you do that? What'd you make that out of?
Well, hold on. I'm going to be off screen for a minute. I'm going to get the other one.
Yeah, it took her like 2 weeks. She got all the supplies herself. Like, I know that there are some sites that will make it for you. You just send them your design. Not Martha. She's like, I'm going to make my own.
I get the blank one online for like $10, whatever it is. I put her down so I show. And so here's the other one I'm working on now. That's my other character, the chubby character.
You mold all that stuff on it, don't you?
So yeah, basically I get the blank one on Amazon. They're like $10.
Right.
And then you get resin. The resin epoxy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, this stuff is
and then you mold it onto there. Do you mold it on there? You have
to work fast with that stuff because it dries in like 2 hours at the most. But like you can see, I put like put toes on it and everything.
Hey Martha, someone in the chat wants to know how much will it cost for you to make them one, and they want a link to your social media.
I'm quoting. Well, I had a Kickstarter thing, and it went like that. Someone paid $100, but
it went like that because people want that kind of stuff.
But I'm thinking $50.
Is that all right if I put your Facebook link in the chat for them to contact you? All right. Tank Ferret, what up, dude? And the Wonk. You guys can hit up there. I put Martha's Facebook link in there. You know,
but I put
I'm putting this in, this is sensitive information, everyone. So be nice, but if you want a Funko Pop, Martha is the person for that. Nathaniel Britton says, Nathaniel, are you the guy doing the Banana Western series?
That's me.
That's like the best way. That's what a lot of people know. They're like, oh, that's to do with the Banana Western.
The Banana Western. It's a Banana Western in 3 parts.
It's the made up genre.
Hold on, I'll be right back. I want to show you something.
Oh no, you're good. Let's see. I want to get into the chat. Thanks everyone so much for watching. The links are in the description down below. You can check out Demons Volume 2, Seed Seekers Volume 1, and the Chipman Family. And then also, guys, The Handyman by Pencil for Life is currently on Indiegogo. I wrote it. Brad Ashworth, Pencil for Life, drew it. You can go check that out. It's a beautiful book. We'll get Brad on here one time. We'll just be talking about said book. But yeah, all right. What you got for us?
I just wanted to show you my one. This is my little.
Bring it down a little for the camera. Oh my gosh! What's it made out of?
That's just Super Sculpey.
Oh my gosh! You guys make me feel so lazy.
Wait, but let's go back to your pop for a second. So I don't know if this is your plan or if you've already done this, but you can make a very simple mold with silicone, and then pour resin and mass produce those for shows or whatever, because to make them each one, I'm sure takes a lot of time, but you can just reproduce them and then hand paint them and probably still sell them for like $100 a piece.
Yeah.
Tank Ferret in the chat says, Martha, charge more. I will be buying I will be buying a couple from you soon.
Okay.
Nice.
So, and Tank Ferret is a freaking good artist, and that's quite the compliment to get from him, because he does art full time.
And I believe you too, because you're a freaking good artist too. Don't I'm watching you here. I'm like, dang.
Oh gosh.
Studio is hard for me, so I don't.
No, you're good. So I got a couple questions for you, and the nice thing is, I don't know if this is the nice thing, but I didn't really have a topic planned for tonight, but something that I just thought we could hit on. And Brandon says, "Oh, that's where I know you from, the Banana Western guy." That's hilarious.
Thank you. I love that. I want to be known as the Banana Western.
Yes,
the guy who made up this genre. Then now that's if someone starts to yell, "Dude, I'm doing a Banana Western," you can be like, "Dude, I coined that phrase."
Oh, absolutely. I patent that phrase. Trademark.
Martha, someone asks, okay, so we have a couple people that said that they've backed some projects. I don't know what they've backed.
Back
and Ellsworth says, I bought The Chimp in the Brown Hat and I dug that book.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was, what I liked was the quality of the shipping and handling that I got the book.
Oh, thank you.
I really appreciate that. It made me that I bought some of those for my Kickstarter, because
the Gemini
those are good.
Yeah, they're designed specifically
for
comics.
How much did it cost per one? Because I found a site that's going to cost $1 per one.
It's definitely cheaper than that.
Oh, for real? So I'm getting ripped off.
Yeah. What site did you go? You should go directly to.
I haven't bought it, but if you want to send me,
I'm gonna give you a great tip right now. Have you ever heard of the podcast? I think it's Comics Launch.
No.
Tyler.
Comics Launch. Tyler. Yeah, that dude. He's super smart.
Yeah, he really is. And actually, I heard about those from him. That's what he uses. And if you go to his website, he's got like an area for resources where he links to all the different things that he uses, and that's just one of them. It'll link you right to the website, the Gemini mailer website, and I even think you'll get a discount if you go through it. He has got like a discount code for you. I think it came out to about 50 cents a mailer, something. Hey, like that.
I feel so bad for asking, but could you send me that link sometime?
No problem. I'm gonna do it now while we're talking. Otherwise, I totally forget.
Okay. So, and then Britton just says, I'm gonna write a gritty Banana Western. That'd be awesome. Everyone, do some Banana Western fan art for Nathaniel. Send it to him. And then,
hey, you know what? How about this? Because this is something I was actually thinking about. I recently did some artwork of somebody else's comic that's going to be a stretch goal. as like a pinup if they get to that point. And I was thinking I was going to do the same thing. So if anybody wants to send me any quote unquote fan art, I could possibly use that as part of my next Kickstarter. And of course, you would get full credit for the images and
stuff. That'd be cool. Martha, I'm actually super excited to draw your characters.
Yes.
Martha commissioned me, and I was actually driving home today, and I was like, hey, how am I going to do this? So I'm super excited to tackle that. So I got a quick question for both of you. Maybe we can get into a little discussion. And remember, if it gets too late for you guys, I know it's like 10 o'clock for you guys right now. Martha, I know that you work super early.
Up at 5 a.m., but it's okay.
So if you guys ever need a bounce, like just be like, hey, I've got to bounce, and we'll plug your book one more time, and then you guys can bounce. Real quick, Samurai Raccoon says, do you have an Instagram or Twitter so I can check out your Banana Western?
Oh yeah, sure. So I'm at ngoldart.
At N
like Nathaniel N.
Okay.
GOLDART at both Instagram and Twitter.
Right, and I put that in the chat.
Yeah, and you can also go to jesseandpress.com. I sell the books there, and also on Amazon.
Awesome. So
can I share one other thing with you real quick? Because it happened today. I didn't even tell my wife yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. I didn't even tell my wife yet. My local bookstore purchased 3 copies. My local Barnes and Noble.
Wow,
man! So that's like
Okay, well, let's. Can we talk about that real quick?
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen?
Actually, so what I did was after the Kickstarter was over, I took my book and I went onto a website called Ingram Spark.
I've heard of it.
Okay. Ingram Spark is an on-demand printer, but they're owned by Lightning Source. Lightning Source is the I don't know what the proper term is here, but basically Lightning Source is the place that all bookstores and libraries go to order books. Okay. So what you do is you buy an ISBN, you put your book on with Ingram Spark, and then it becomes available to bookstores. So in this particular case, I went to my local Barnes and Noble and I said, hey, I'm a local guy. I created this graphic novel. Here's the ISBN. The manager was like, yeah, sure. I'll pick up a copy or two. And then they ordered them. And then I went there today and I saw them.
Okay. So how important then do you think it is that us creators go that extra mile?
All right,
do something like that.
Here's the honest to God truth. The honest to God truth is, I'm 40, so I grew up looking at and learning a business or being a fan of a business that was all about getting your books printed and getting them in stores and getting a publisher. That is not the world we live in anymore. Nope. So I kind of went through this because I just want to be able to look at my book on the shelf at Barnes and Noble once in my life as kind of just like a kick in the pants type of like bucket list.
Check like look, that's me.
But I literally said this while I was looking at it. Okay, now I have a book in Barnes and Noble. I've done it, and now it's not a big deal, and I don't and it's now on to really trying to create an audience. So I think in the world that we're in this more independent, internet-based world, we should really be just finding an audience and selling direct. So truthfully, selling through my website is way more important than trying to get a couple of Barnes and Nobles and a couple of libraries to have my book. Because here's the other thing too. Here's the price point. At the end of the day, I sell that book for $16.99 at Barnes and Noble. I get about $2 for that.
Yeah,
I sell it on my store. The margin on that is considerably higher.
Yeah,
so,
that's
same thing with Amazon. You don't because you gotta pay the print on demand. You gotta pay them to print the book. Then you gotta pay them a fee. And when you sell it to stores, you gotta discount it at like 55%. So you're really not making a lot of money. That model works for the big major publishers that that are publishing 10,000 books at a clip. So each book is costing them, pennies to make. That's how that model works. That's not for us. For us, we should be building an audience, doing Kickstarter, doing Patreon, and direct sales. I don't know. I mean, there's probably tons of other things I haven't even thought of or learned about yet, but I think that's where our focus should be. I feel great today that I saw my book on the shelf at Barnes & Noble, something I've always wanted, but I literally looked at it and said, this is so cool, but now the real work begins.
For sure.
Where my focus is going to be. I literally bought the ISBN just so I could get it on the local Barnes & Noble shelf. I know that sounds really silly, but I don't think unless you're selling thousands of units, I don't see that as a viable model. Though another thing I want to say, and I'm sure you guys are doing the same thing, we need to keep ourselves really diversified, right? So we need to be trying to generate revenue from a lot of places. Again, Kickstarter, direct sales, Patreon. Okay, I made a few dollars from these sales through the Barnes & Noble. That's one thing. But then we should be trying to kind of hustle and pull through a lot of different places. Like, that's to circle back to what we were saying when we started talking about our sculpture projects and stuff. The merch, if that's what you want to call it, I guess that's what it would be called, is so important. These ancillary things. That's why I'm doing these pins. That's why I'm picking these pins.
So what I'm guessing, and maybe so Martha, what do you think though? What do you think about this? You're a comic book creator. Do you think that you could, and I'm just gonna say this right now, there is interest in the chat. People are already liking your Funko Pops. Do you see that? Do you think you could see yourself as taking time off of making comics to produce revenue, making these Funko Pops for people? Because that's just side money that you can then put into your main hustle.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Well, besides everyone, I call my day job my side hustle, and my side my drawing my main hustle. Yeah. But do you think because I agree, we need to create ancillary income. What do you think? Do you think, Martha, that that's something that you'd want to be into?
Well, given the time, I say yes. You gotta enjoy doing it, though. See, the thing about me is I love doing my comic because I can get into it. I can draw it. When I do it, I get lost. And when I don't know about you or you both, but when I do it, I feel like I love that character. Like, I'm getting involved in the character when I'm drawing and getting into it. So I really enjoy the drawing aspect of it all. But can I do the other stuff? Yeah. I mean, it's not what I'd say priority one. Like, I have commission works that I have, like what you're doing now. I have commission works that I have to do, and some of it's like, do I want to do it? Not really.
But it's extra. It's extra. But it's extra income, and I think ultimately for everyone here who's either who's watching or who's on this panel, is we want to be able to do this full time one day. That we want to have an audience built up so that we can do this full time. I did the math the other day, which is why I created the Patreon and why I'm going to start once the Demons Volume 2 campaign is done. I'm going to be really pushing hard on growing the Patreon this year so that it hits hard for 2020, is because I did the math and I was like, if I went to my wife and I said, if I can make this much money a month off Patreon or just making comics, I'm going to quit my job because I know I can do this.
Nice.
I can do this full time. And support us both. Doesn't mean it's not gonna have it's hard. It's not gonna be easy, but it's possible. We just have to do what we need to do in order to do this full time. So I agree. We need to be able to have ancillary income. I can't say that word. So with that being said, we've been chatting for almost 48 minutes, so almost an hour. I know you guys are up late, so I'm just gonna ask. I'm gonna give you guys time real quick to promote your books, and then we're gonna end the stream. If you guys have any questions in the chat, please ask them, and then we're gonna let these guys go to sleep. But Martha, tell us real quick. Tell us about. Actually, no. Let me not lock onto you. Let me lock onto my screen so that I can. I'm gonna lock onto the your Kickstarter. Tell us right now. Tell us about the tell us why we need to be checking out Seed Seekers.
Why Seed Seekers? Good question. Well, basically, Seed Seekers. Hence the name. It's like a lot of people are like, oh, that's such a graphic title or whatever. It's not graphic. Basically, what Seed Seekers is that their world is dying. They have to figure out what's wrong with their world and how they can do to correct or fix it. So they go out and they seek from a wizard where their answers lie. So they go to another world. They bring this person in, but is he helping the world? Is it going to be justice and stuff like that? So with this Kickstarter, you're going to get the whole introduction of the characters, synopsis of everything. You're going to get know more about each one and in depth of stuff. So if you haven't, or if you don't know anything about Seed Seekers, I highly recommend that you back this campaign, because you will get everything included in the first volume, as well as introductions of the characters and little extra tidbits. And I'm also going to include more artists and other people involved. So it's a broad spectrum of getting everything involved. And
this is a good intro comic. Like, you know, the hardest part for comics, I think, especially mainstream comics, is people are saying, no, when do I jump on? This is the jumping on point, is right here for an awesome series, and I'm super pumped to read it. So
if you don't know the series, I highly encourage you to join in, even like we were talking about. If you want to put in $1 just to pique your interest, and then I give you out information. I have a thing going on that if I reach the goal of 700, which I'm almost there, I'm going to have an extra story, and that goes to everybody who's donated, even the dollar people. So
wow.
Well, there you go, guys. Let's get this to 700. And then Nathaniel, tell us about the collectible pins. Tell us about the Chipman family.
Sure.
And, can I go through your is there a way for someone to? I'll ask you that later. I checked the quick starter, and it was a stupid question. Tell us about your enamel pins, and then I have a follow-up question.
All right. So for those of you who know the Chimp with the Brown Hat, my Banana Western. So that's a character in a book, and I'll show it again. But the Chipman family is sort of the larger universe that my characters live in. And the main characters right now are the Chimp with the Brown Hat, which is a chimpanzee who woke up in the middle of the desert with no idea of who he is, where he came from, and he has a robotic hand, and he walks around the Old West in the Utah Territory fighting bandits and giant space worms, right? So it's like this sci-fi Western. But then you have Henry Chipman. That's the middle guy there. Henry Chipman was one of the original chimps in the Mercury space program. He was supposed to be the first chimpanzee in space, but he realized that the chimps in the space program weren't actually being trained to fly. They were being experimented on. So he leaves, he speaks out against it, ultimately becomes a political prisoner. I have a novel that I wrote about that character here.
You did them all. You did them all novels first, didn't you?
Yeah, actually, The Chimp with the Brown Hat was also like a novella.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can grab it real quick. Here's Marcel. So that's the third one. Marcel, the Forgotten Circus Chimp. Marcel is.
It looks like such a proper book, by the way. Like with the it looks like it was actually like photographed and like oh man, like what did he do in history for us?
Well, Marcel was a chimpanzee in the 1880s who was part of who was actually the star of the Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Oh, nice! I saw The Greatest Showman.
And yes, and he was actually like a socialite, part of high society. Went to parties at the Vanderbilt Mansion, hence the monocle and the top hat. then without giving away his full story, it didn't go very well for him. It doesn't really go very well for any of the Chipman family. So, each one of these characters has their own story. They're all sort of attached in a larger family tree. And outside of I like to speak of them like it's actually like they're real characters. I try to make it feel like it's part of history, but obviously none of these characters are part of real history. And what's really funny is when I'm at a Comic-Con and I'm doing my pitch for for my novel, for the Henry Chipman novel, I'll be like, he was supposed to be the first chimpanzee in space, and then people will be like, yeah, I remember that. And we're like, no, that was a different chimpanzee, different fiction. But yeah, but ultimately, so what I'm trying to do with these characters, or what I am doing with these characters, is it gives me a platform through these chimpanzees, connecting them as if they were all part of a family. But I can really go anywhere with them, right? So I have my Western, sci-fi Western. I have my political sort of like Henry Chipman's kind of like a political sort of like I like to say it's Planet of the Apes meets Forrest Gump, because he ends up in all these different like parts of that.
Do any of the chimps smoke?
No.
They try to take care of their bodies.
Yeah. I'm it's actually funny because like the Chip with the Brown Hat is originally based off of the Clint Eastwood character from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, right?
Uh-huh.
And you can see if you ever saw that movie, he's always with the little cigar.
Not here.
Mine with like a little like piece of like straw. I'm very much against smoking. I would never put smoking. I mean, my books. I like to think my books are for like 12 and up, and I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want kids to see the smoking. But yeah. So the Chipman family is like this larger world, and soon I'm going to be doing a web comic, and I'm going to be telling kind of short stories of different characters. Like again, I have these 3 characters, but what's beautiful about it is I can then come up with a story of pirates. I can tell a whole pirate story, and I can just put it under the banner of the Chipman family, and they're going to be connected through the webcomic. They're going to be connected with one major character who's telling these stories of his family. But what's beautiful is I can do a 10-page story on Henry, and then I can do a 5-page story on Marcel, and then I can do maybe another 2-page story on Henry, and then a 20-page story on the Chimp with the Brown Hat, separate from the trilogy of graphic novels that I'm doing. So I can take these characters anywhere. I mean, what I loved about Calvin and Hobbes growing up is that Bill Watterson could take that character anywhere, just inside of Calvin's imagination. One day he could be fighting dinosaurs. Another day he could be Spaceman Spiff. The next day he could be, a detective, because it was all in his overactive imagination. So I've been racking my brain to try to figure out what's a way that I can have freedom, but have characters, but be able to tell any kind of story I want. And then the humor comes in the fact that it's a chimpanzee who walks and talks and interacts with human beings. That's the tissue. So anyway, these are the pins. You can rock them. Show your support for the Chipman family. There's nothing to worry about. We're funded. You're going to get your pin.
That's always nice for people to hear.
In fact, I think I'm going to do this, right? So anybody that's live right now or watches this in the next 24 hours, so that'll be by 10:30 p.m. on March 7th, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time on March 7th. If you donate at the $10 level or higher, shoot me a quick note through Kickstarter that you are a fan of Draw and Talk. I'll throw in an extra pin for you.
Boom! You guys hear that? You
You'll get 2. You buy 2, you'll get 3. You buy 3, you'll get 4.
Well, I was gonna go onto your thing and support you anyway, because it looked pretty good right there.
Well, Frank Martha, just use coupon code Draw and Talk, and you're gonna get it.
But not for that. But
I'll remember you. Don't worry. I saw you just followed me on Instagram. I followed you back.
I saw.
That's awesome. Well, hey guys, this has been an awesome show. Here's proof that guys at this show, everyone always makes fun of me because they're always like, Tyler, your show's Draw and Talk, you only talk. So here's what I did today, guys. There's a commission. I drew that a while ago, but I colored this. So
that's good.
There you go. I actually can do art. Art I tried to at least, and then this you can buy this print if you see me at a con, if you see me at a store signing, or you can buy it online on my Draw and Talk store once I put it up, and I'll send it out to you. So let me switch to my camera real quick. All right. So thanks everyone. Let's get into the chat real quick before we end this. Let's see. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Go follow these awesome creators. Check out the enamel pins. Get some banana westerns. Get a fantasy seed seekers comic with elves and beautiful traditional art. Hit up Martha if you want a Funko Pop. Gosh dang it. And yeah, Jose Sanchez, you have a good night. He has to go underground. Hit up, dude. Yo, Jose, we gotta play Apex one of these nights, maybe on a weekend. Not this weekend though. And then finally, my biggest problem. Everyone says that I don't talk about my own comics. So this is what we're gonna do. Here's my comic, Demons Volume 2, guys. Detective Ace Carter. Detective Ace Carter experiences the supernatural, this cult from hell, and he's tied into it. His family's tied into it, and basically he's got to overcome this impending attack from hell. They're planning on opening a portal from hell and unleashing demons and other hellish monsters onto the world. So that's what Volume 1 is about. Volume 2 is about the aftermath of what happens in Volume 1. There's casualties, there's deaths, but also there's a new enemy that's come out of the portal that Ace has to deal with, and that's what Volume 2 is going to be. Check out here, guys. You can get a free download of issue number 1. It's 20 pages right there, and you can also get a free 6-page preview right here of Volume 2. And yeah, you can back at $18. You can get Volume 1 and Volume 2 PDF let's see, at the $80, someone backed this today. You can get the Physical Demons Volume 2 in a commission. You can get a commission and both volumes. I think this was you, Martha.
Yeah.
You rock. And then I'm gonna keep advertising this one, guys, because for $350, hold on. For $350,
I had the money, I would have got that. You can. Disney. Sorry.
I will send you copies of both Volume 1 and Volume 2, and then if you write a 2-page script, I will pencil, ink, color, and letter your 2-page comic book script. One person has already done it. I'm working with their story right now. I have to draw a dinosaur apparently, and it's going to be super exciting. But I know those are all really expensive tiers. For $18, guys, that's going out to dinner twice. Denny's that you don't need to go to because it's bad food. IHOP. Volume 1 and Volume 2, the PDF, it's 250 pages. We're trying to get to 3,000. So there you go. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. Go follow these awesome creators.
I have to say,
Jack, go for it.
Support indie artists. You got to
support
here. That's my biggest thing right now, because you read DC Comics, you read Marvel Comics. Okay, we already went through all that. You got some good creators out there who write really excellent stories and draw. I mean, you got Tyler here who, just like me, we like to draw and talk and read and write. So come and check us out, okay?
Yeah, support indie artists. Everyone, thank you so much. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new on the channel. This morning I posted a Batman video news. Let me know what you think about. Tomorrow there's going to be another Batman video. We're going to be talking about the new actors that are potentially going to be playing Batman. So get that ready for the morning, and then tomorrow night I'll probably be streaming me drawing and talking some more. So everyone, thanks so much for watching. You guys have a good night, and peace out.